I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, October the 17th, brought to you in part by New Generation Supplements, the makers of Smart Lick. They set out over 25 years ago to be different, to do research, to be focused. Their products or ingredients that make up their branded lineup have gone through rigorous testing. They only sell what is proven. For more information, go to newgensupplements.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma, for the regular Tuesday feeder cattle auction here today, they've got 4,000 head on offer right there on the eastern end of the Oklahoma Panhandle, no man's land there. I was talking with Lane Conkle on Monday night. He said they'll have about 1,000 yearlings. There'll be over 10 loads of 8 and 9 weight yearling steers. Be a couple loads of 6 weight yearling steers, some lighter grazing kind of yearling steers there. 1 load of heifers in the 7s, and then they'll have 1 fancy load of all black replacement kind of quality heifers. They're put together, but the quality is outstanding. And they'll be in the high 6 and low 7 weights for that load of fancy heifers right there. Got 2,500 or more calves there. Several long strings. A lot of guys bringing their whole ranch. Several deals coming out of Kansas there. Be 200 or 300 head in a lot. They're going to be 25 to 30% weaned is all. But over 80% of them will have at least 1 round of shots in them. Then they'll have probably 500 cows there. They're getting a lot of older bred cows. There's a guy or two in there picking on them, picking them off. Just all they got to do is give more than packer price there. It doesn't sound like too bad of a investment there if he's got something to feed those. New record-breaking cattle prices. Now, we've been dealing with record-breaking cattle prices here for several months. But I think we're about to break one again, break one that we just set back in June, and that is the all-time high fat cattle market, direct basis out of your 5-area feeding region. We got as high as 188. We're bound for that area here, if not this week, maybe next week or the next. I think we're getting pretty close. Talked to several northern cattle feeders up there. Most of them are holding for 189 live. They got 185 or 6 last week. That's a pretty good jump there. Talked to another feeder flash gang member, northeastern Nebraska. He pulled the plug at 188. He was surprised to get bid that. He said, don't be calling me out on here for being a weak sister. I'm not going to call him out for selling them $3 higher at 188, especially up there in northeastern Nebraska. They kind of like to pick on the feeders up there, maybe not give them as much as what they're getting in central Nebraska. But that's a pretty good quote right there for a guy up there. That's another reason that they used to have so many cattle delivered to Sioux Falls Regional at Worthing, because it was close there. And so then CME discounted that delivery point so people wouldn't be delivering quite so many cattle there. How's that for a how do you do? But going to be higher this week. We haven't seen any real hardcore negotiated trade, but we had a higher market last week. A lot of packers stirring around. All of your packers stirring around on Monday already. They're getting shorter product. We've seen signs of that. Everybody said we were going to get extremely short in the 4th quarter. We're in the 4th quarter. I'll give you a little bit of news about the show lists, which I wish I could tell you that I took more stock in the show lists, but I just don't. I've seen over the years how they put them together, and it doesn't seem to have a lot of tact to it. But for what it's worth, I'm going to show you the advertised show lists here this week, and then I'm going to compare them to the same type year ago, same week. So that might make a little bit more difference. But in Colorado and Nebraska, they kind of joined them together because nobody knows what's going on in Colorado. Might as well throw them in with Nebraska. Well, we do want to know what's going on. But their show list is 5% lower than the same week a year ago. Kansas's show list, as advertised, is 9% lower than a year ago. And Texas's show list this week is 21.5% lighter than the same week a year ago. That's pretty significant if you go by that. I hope you guys watch the daily livestock report. It's a good report. They kind of want you to pay something to subscribe to it now. I do. I get a lot of ideas there from it for you. And sometimes I'm just going to tell you what it had on it, like I'm going to do today, because it was very interesting. If you don't get a chance or don't know how to find it, it's Daily Livestock Report. It was about the dairy cow slaughter. And we've been slaughtering a lot of dairy cows. That's one thing that's been propping us up on our slaughter when we know we're so short of beef cattle. But year to date, we have slaughtered nearly 100,000 head more dairy cows this year than we did last year. That is pretty significant because the milk margins were down. They were culling hard. Wasn't much reason to keep cows around that weren't real super efficient. So we've seen a lot more cows on the market there. But now all of a sudden it's kind of flip-flopped around. Cheese is getting more popular, and now they're holding those dairy cows back. In recent weeks, we've dropped way back on the dairy cow slaughter. We dropped on a weekly basis lower than a year ago and lower than the 5-year average. So that's pretty significant. That's going to make it a little bit shorter on supplies for packers. If your cow guys get short of dairy cows, they're going to have to dig harder. We've already seen some cow plants killing steers and heifers here as we're getting in tight supplies, but it is sure getting tight. Give you an idea how that works. Total dairy cows in the country, 9.4 million, but last year they slaughtered over 3 million of them. I mean, they turn them over really fast. Of course, they burn them up with those BST and all that stuff. But your beef cows, we have 29 million of them, and last year we did not even slaughter 4 million beef cows. So they get to stay out on the range a whole lot longer. We've seen them keeping the calves back. The calves are not going to special fed veal nearly as often. Calf slaughter is actually down 20% so far this year. They're keeping more of those back to become calf fed beef on dairy types, and we're seeing the popularity of those. Pretty good information, I thought. Let's talk about your board to start the week out. On October, live cattle up 7 cents at 185.20. December was down 20 cents at 186.55. Your back months were down 27 to down 62. Now the board was showing some pretty impressive higher quotes earlier in the day to start the day out and start the week out, and then they faded off really fast. Feeder cattle down pretty hard. October feeder cattle down 155 at 248.32. November down $1.65 at 249.92. Back months down 72 cents to down 115. December new crop corn down 3.25 cents at 4.90. November beans, that's new crop, up 6 cents at 12.86 1/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat for December down 1/4 cent at 6.86 3/4. Your weighted average on last week's negotiated fed cattle market out of your 5-area feeding region, direct basis, 80,300 head just out of your 5-area feeding region. We thought we had a big week the week before. It was 79,900, so bigger, and a lot bigger than the same week a year ago, which was 62,000. Live sales of steers and heifers in your 5-area feeding region last week ranged from 181 to 187. There was less than 100 at 181. There was 1,439 at 187, but most of them sell from 182 to 186. But the 181 to 187 was steady to $2 higher. Weighted average on live steers was 184.30. That was up $1.58 compared to last week. Your dress sales ranged from 288 to 299 1/4. That 299 1/4 was way up there. There was 242 head sold at that, but it was way on up there. The 288 only had 447. Most of your cattle bring from 290 to 292. But your big price spread was $1 to $4.50 higher. Your weighted average on dressed steers, $291.83, up $2.58. But for the most part, your Southern Plains were mostly $1 higher, $2 higher late, 183 to 184 late. Northern Plains was $2 higher, 185. Dress sales $2 to $4 higher at 292 for the most part. Nationwide, we sold 96,400 head. That's more than the 94,500 from the previous week and the 75,600 the same week a year ago. Your 19% was all the 15 to 30 day delivery stuff. So they're buying everything right now, running tight, wanting to build up their coffers a little bit. They're wanting to increase harvest a little bit, but they're getting kind of short of product. They wouldn't be this aggressive if they weren't. But 96,400 nationwide negotiated grid 40,500, forward contracting 26,500, and formula trades 259,500. But a lot of stirring going around, not any confirmed sales before 2 o'clock. Did hear that some cattle had sold at 188. Like I said, most people holding out for 189, but we're going to see some trade here early to midweek, and it's going to be higher. Box beef cutout values were higher for a change. Choice cuts up 387 at 304.67. Select up 171 at 277.20. Your slaughter started the week out at 124,000. Talk about what else is going on. Your night latch group, that's Andy Cunningham and family right there. They like the livestock gross margin policies. And if your LRP guy doesn't think that that's a good way to hedge your risk on feed and on feeding cattle, maybe you need to talk to Andy Cunningham. And there's no margin calls. It's a better option than just hedging your stuff on the board. For more information on that, go to nightlatch.net. Talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DVAuction. Late in the day on Monday, sitting at 244.07, down 61. You can't turn this thing around on a dime, guys. And we had some big, impressive premium quality sales late in the week last week, and then our big high volume Monday sales, they just can't quite keep up, so it was a little bit lower. CME cash feeder cattle index dropped down there off of that 250 finally because it had no business being up there. But don't forget, today at noon, here Tuesday today, October the 17th, we got the Proud to Be an American sale. That's Shane Steerwalt. That's in Burbank, Oklahoma. That is a really, really cool sale, guys. They've got 1,000 head of commercial females in there, but the genetics behind them is unbelievable. How you can get all these put together. The genetics on offer include from the King Ranch, from the 44 Farms, from Wagon Hammer Ranch, from Express Ranches. They're all there. Ron Cunningham's going to be handling the auctioneering, so you know it's going to be a high-class deal. If you can't make it to Burbank, Oklahoma, get on to DVAuction.com. View and bid that sale. The Proud to Be an American sale right there here today at noon. Almost all the time giving you guys top quotes, and I'm about to give you some top quotes. But sometimes you would like to know what you can order some cattle for. Some put together cattle out of Central Texas. My old buddy Ellison Carter, that's what he does. He's got order buyers working in 40 or 50 sales, as many as he needs to work to get his orders put together. But you guys that are needing wheat cattle, these are delivered prices to the Texas Panhandle, western Oklahoma, maybe even up into the edge of Kansas. But of cattle you can order, he'll order them to your specifications. And most of the ones he gave me this week are all pretty fancy deals. Not many plain cattle, mostly all straight blacks. And be good enough to go anywhere, guys. But these are loads that he shipped over the weekend from Santo, Texas. He can ship some to you. A load of 285-pound steers and bulls cost $283. Delivered to Kansas, all black. Sounds pretty cheap. How about 355 head male cattle there? 271 delivered, also to Kansas, also all black. Load weight 4 1/4 at 266 delivered to Kansas, all black. These bigger calves will be all steers. 445 pound load on the average, cost 264 delivered. That was in Oklahoma. 485 pound load of steers, and they're all steers at 257, and load weight 515 pounds on the average at 252 delivered, all steers. Did have one load of plainer steers and bulls, 530 pounders at 217. Look at the heifers. Load of heifers averaged 300 pounds, cost 232 delivered. They were all black. In fact, all these heifers I'm going to give you are all black. 410 pound on the average, cost 230 delivered. Load weight 470 on the average, good heifers. 230, all these are all black. Load weight 485 pounds at 224. Load weight 510 pounds delivered at 223. And load weight 665 at 210. Not a lot of difference in the price on those calves, guys. But if you're interested in that, go to Ellis and Carter Cattle. Get a hold of them there. They're good people. They'll help you out. Talk about your big sales on Monday. How about Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City? 7,500 head. Good run for them. Mostly calves. A lot of unweaned calves bearing down on the market. Your feeder cattle were not well tested. Feeder steers $2 to $5 lower. Feeder heifers mostly steady and light test. The feeders were fairly plain. A lot of calves. Weaned calves sold steady. Unweaned and short weaned calves dropped another $5 to $10 off. It's at least a $25 premium to wean your calves. I don't know what it's costing you guys to wean them, and some of you don't have the facilities to do it. Some of them don't have the want to do it. But you get $25 100 there. That might make it worth doing it per head, but it may not. I'm not sure. We're going to continue to see those premiums grow, or actually the discounts fall even lower for your unweaned calves as we start to see more and more calves that are long time weaned. Joplin Regional Stockyards, 4,900 head there. They had a pretty good sale. They underestimated. They were only expecting 4,000, so it'd be nice to get 900 more than you expected. But steers steady to $6 higher. Had a good sale at Joplin. Pee-wee calves under 5.5. Steers $7 to $14 higher. Most of your heifer calves and feeders are steady, but the lightweight heifer calves under 5.5 sold $2 to $8 higher. Somebody showed up and was wanting light calves there. Don't forget, Joplin's got their special cow and bull sale coming up this Wednesday at 4:30 in the afternoon. They've got over 1,000 head of replacement stock there to sell. Your NationalBeefWire stick-out sale of the day was Sioux Falls Regional Livestock in Worthing, South Dakota. They had 4,800 head. Didn't have too many calves there. It was mostly all yearlings still. Most of them coming in, a lot of them be backgrounded, but they'd be yearlings, and didn't have a good test of the calves, but the yearlings sold really well. Check out the best tested weights on this automated market report through Cattle Market Central. 633 head of 8-weight steers in Worthing, South Dakota, averaged 844 pounds with a weighted average price of $240-246. 745 head of 9-weight steers, Sioux Falls Regional Livestock, the average $956, weighted average price $230-235. Look at the heifers. 570 head of 8-weight heifers averaged $868 at $223.99, and 495 head of 9-weight heifers averaged $939 at $212.98 on the weighted average price. Good sale in Sioux Falls Regional Livestock. View and bid them every sale day on DVAuction.com. How about Russell Livestock Market in Russell, Iowa? Another DVAuction broadcaster there. They had a pretty good sale. It was widespread with what all they had to offer, light calves all the way to big yearlings. But they sold this load of yearling feeders pretty darn good. 66 steers weighed 804 at $260 1/4. How about Torrington Livestock Market? 79 steers weighed 606 at 297. Market way up north, Bowman Livestock Marketing, Bowman, North Dakota. 103 steers weighed 528 and bring 322.50. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday, your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of a market that I've actually sold at before, Central Oregon Livestock Auction. That's in Madras, Oregon. That's Trent Stewart's sale barn. They sold 56 steer calves, weighed 462. That's light, but getting close to 500 pounds at $3.50 a pound. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.